Welcome to Happy Horror Time. Today, my guest is the very talented writer of one of my absolute favorite books, Crystal Lake Memories, The Complete History of Friday the 13th. Welcome, Peter Bracke.
Hey.
Okay, Peter Bracke.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Happy Horror Time.
Thank you.
We had a question from the Facebook
audience.
page. His name's Mr. Cameron West. He asks, what inspired you to write Crystal Lake Memories the way you did? Meaning, where did the idea come from to get all the private thoughts collected of almost all the people involved with the Friday the 13th franchise?
That would be 2002. I got the idea for the book.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. No, more than that. It's 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
10 years. Yeah. I was a writer. I was basically a fledgling film reviewer. And I had done a book before called Ultimate DVD, which I wasn't really that happy with. It was sort of like a compendium of reviews and interviews with filmmakers. So I got an agent. I was very excited about that. So I was looking for a new project, and I'd always loved horror films and cult films, and I'd loved the whole drive-in circuit of the 70s and 80s. But at the time, that was like right before the DVD boom really took off. So a lot of the movies that we loved, like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, hadn't really been getting a lot of attention. So it formed in my head, and then I went to a screening. It was in August 2002. It was the 20th anniversary of Friday the 13th Part 3, and they put it in 3D. It was good. And it was awesome. It was in 3D. I mean, because you never get to see the movie in 3D very often. Right. This is before, again, the whole digital 3D boom. So we went, and then as a surprise, they brought some of the cast there to surprise them up, and they did a panel. And I was just sitting there going, oh, well, duh. Like, this is, like, perfect. Like, horror movies, Friday the 13th. I mean, it's just totally untapped, untouched subject. No one's ever done it before. This would be like a perfect second book. So I go to my agent, and he was kind of excited. I went to some publishers. They weren't all that excited. But because, again, this was before Freddy vs. Jason even came out. So I started the book on my own, on spec, basically spending my own money to do it. And then through good fortune, Sean Cunningham got on board. And then Freddy vs. Jason came out and was a big hit. And then New Line got excited about it, so it kind of mushroomed. But from when I started, it was kind of like, By the time I ended, it was great.
Yeah, I mean, prior to the internet, and I mean, literally the only thing I had growing up was a movie review, which was like this big because it's not like people were going out of their way to get any information. So
it's kind of a joke to a lot of people. Book. Yeah, even Paramount put the DVDs out originally. There was nothing on them. It was just trailer. And they're like, no one cares about these movies.
I do.
So, I know exactly. Well, that's the thing with publishers too. Is like they're like, really, Friday the 13th? And then so it took a while with the conventions, and there was a company called Sideshow Collectibles. You ever heard of them?
Yes, yes.
They were doing these Jason model figures, and they would sell out like 10,000 copies like in a day for like $50. So we went back and said, hey, if fans are going to buy a model for $50, they're going to buy a book for 40. So
definitely. So here's our next question. It's from Will Hatch. He asks, where is Deborah S. Hayes these days, who played Claudette?
No one knows. She was the girl in the first film, right? The very first victim. No, the second victim in the prologue. Yes. By the way, Willie Adams, who's in the scene, he unfortunately we believe is deceased. They found death certificate for him. Unfortunately,
oh my goodness.
He was in a car accident, I believe. This was way back in the '80s. So apparently he's no longer with us. But Deborah, she disappeared. No one really knew her. The problem is, I looked up Deborah Hayes, and there's about 2,000 of them in the U.S. And she might have gotten married, and they changed names. So she's not with SAG. So
these are the first two victims in the original 1980 Friday 13.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I wish I could have found her, but no one's. We tried with the documentary too, and it's just gone. So.
Okay, so now, I mean, since you wrote this book, like you collected everyone's information and you put together a story of how the beginning and to the end of when the film was released. No, you did a great job. It's excellent. But we don't know your personal opinion of, like, you did not say, like, you remained completely biased.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you today, who was your favorite? And if you don't have to answer these questions, if you feel uncomfortable. So who is your favorite final girl?
Oh, well, I will. When I first started doing the book, I went to all the main folks first, like the directors and the main actors. And one of the first calls I got back was Amy Steele. And so I was like, I'd been doing this like 2 months, and I went to this cafe to meet her. And I go in because I'd sent her a picture and email, and so I'm sitting there, and then Amy Steele's like waving to me, and like I started to cry. So she was like my favorite, and like that was the first final girl I got to interview. So yeah, she's always been. I like a lot of them, but yeah.
So you love all of them.
Sad story,
right?
Story.
No, not at all.
I got to see Amy Steele.
I'm just gonna rattle these all off, and just the first thing that comes to your head. Okay.
Okay.
Favorite Jason.
Richard Brooker.
Okay. Part 3. Favorite director?
I'd have to say Steve Miner or Tom McLaughlin are probably.
Nice. And favorite death scene?
Oh. You know, I never actually thought of this.
Really?
No.
I think about it all the time.
I bet you do. Well, because I watched the movie so often as a kid and stuff, and then like I'd have them in like a nonstop loop of death while I was writing the book. God.
Wow, that plays some mind tricks.
Well, no, like my roommates, as a joke, they did this for a long time. They'll have me go outside of the room, and then they'll play like a piece of one of the movies, just a score, and I can identify the scene.
Wow.
Because it was literally in the loop for 2 years in my head, so like I don't even think about it; it's just there.
So you were like in a
like, oh yeah, it's the scene where Amy still goes to the car or something. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can just do it. Yeah.
Okay,
I haven't missed yet, but
no favorite.
Probably Andy getting split in half, looking at his hands.
Part 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so mean spirited, you know. It's pretty horrible.
Definitely. Who do you think is the hottest guy in Friday the 13th?
Tom McBride from Part 2.
Okay.
Wheelchair.
Yeah. And hottest girl?
I'm not a good judge of that. I guess I would say maybe Jennifer Cook. I think she's really pretty.
Part 6, Jason.
Yeah. Or, I mean, Amy still has a really nice earthy girl, I think.
Girl next door.
Yeah, and then, like something like in Jason X, the lead girl, she's really pretty. Monica King is really beautiful. The girls in the remake are really pretty. So, but who girls?
I know. I'm surprised we're taking this long on girls. Just kidding. Best poster.
Oh God. Well, I love the original just because it's so iconic, and yeah, I'd go with that one.
Okay. And best trailer.
Oh gosh. These are actually the teaser for Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, and now, you know, you've seen every Friday 13th many times, and which one, if you happen to be watching on a Saturday and it's on, which one would you stop and watch?
I've seen it so many times. Really? No. 1, 2, or 3, probably, or 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Those.
And what's the main? After all the questions you asked for this book, which is a lot, and I'm sure you asked the same question to everybody, what was the main thing that kept coming up?
You mean the...
was there an answer that you always gave that just like...
Yeah.
I've heard this song and dance before.
Almost without fail was like, why people are interested in this. Like everyone was just... Because again, this was before... There seemed to be a bit of a revival with conventions and the DVDs. And this was like 2002, 2003. People were just like, oh my God, like I forgot I even did that movie, or do people still care? That was the biggest thing. People, they just did not, they're like, why are you writing a book? Like they were nice, but they were kind of like, you're kind of crazy. You know? So, but it wasn't until later with, I think with the resurgence of it all, and that they're like, oh, okay, now we get it, you know. But at the time, yeah, everyone's like, there's a disconnect between the fan base.
Right. Why would people be interested in this?
Yes.
Okay. Why do they call Friday 13th Part 7 the New Blood? Why do they nickname it Friday the 13th?
Well, the New Blood was, no one really liked it. I know John Carbeek, the director, and the writer Daryl Haney didn't like it. It was a Frank Mancuso Paramount thing because they wanted to kind of compete with Freddy and kind of make, oh, it's new, it's exciting, we redone, you know, to make it fresh. So it really doesn't mean anything whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't because there were actors in it that just happened to be gay as well?
No one realized that. Like,
oh, really?
It's like Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and Fright Night. Like, it was only later on, because now we're a little more in tune with these things, that people started to see the subtext. But at the time, I mean, I didn't get it as a kid.
No, I definitely
now I'm like,
these
guys are flaming. I'm like, how could I miss it? But back then,
I wouldn't have known.
So butch.
Betsy Palmer was quoted in your book as saying, Friday 13th is like McDonald's now, isn't it? And so do you believe with each generation that Friday 13th will ever die? I mean, do you just think people will keep rediscovering it and want to know more information? But thank gosh your book's here, so they have all the answers.
I don't think it'll ever fully die. I mean, I think it's become kitschy, is that the right word? Like, you go and you see Jason bobbleheads. So I think for kids, it's like The Mummy or Frankenstein. Like when we were growing up, like I watched Creature from the Black Lagoon, but I wasn't scared by it. Like, you know, it was like something I enjoyed. But so yeah, I think it'll always be around. But I don't think it's going to be as relevant to kids today. I think they're going to look at it as more like a cool old movie. Mm-hmm. So
you think it's like a classic now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, everyone knows what it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, the remake. It did well, but because it hasn't spawned its own sequels, I don't know if it's what they're going to... I think they're going to reboot it again. I don't know what they're going to do. too. So
That's good.
I think that to make it relevant, though, I think like when we were growing up without the internet, there's more of a sense of isolation. Like you go off to a summer camp now, it's really difficult. I mean, kids are so connected. But I don't know if that campfire tale really works for kids today. Because like, why don't you just get on your cell phone and call the cops? Yeah.